Hola chicos, en este video vamos a hablar del pretérito y el imperfecto, las diferencias, cuando usamos el pretérito y cuando usamos el imperfecto. This is a PowerPoint that I've used over the years. It's a little different than our folders, but it might give you some information that could help you. So, when to use the past tenses. So, preterite tense, our definition of when to use the preterite tense on our folders was an action that began and ended in the past. This is a list of items on this page as you look at it, but really all of these have to do with that. Began and ended in the past. That's basically our idea of when we use the preterite tense. And so if you look at some of these expressions, you have when an action was completed at a specific time, an action was completed a specific number of times, when an action began or ended, and then when an action interrupts another action. This is a sentence that's going to have both preterite and imperfect in it. We'll get to this a little later. But all of these ones, these first four, we've seen, and we've seen them just with my description of began and ended in the past. So if these descriptions help you and you want to write them down and study them, by all means, I think it's great to have a couple different ways of learning things, but I think that our description works pretty well. So here are the indicator words. These are our indicators. We call them phrases here, but these are really just indicator words. Some of these you guys have seen. Other ones may be new. I know we've seen ayer, anteayer. You see this ante in here? This means the day before yesterday. One word in Spanish for it. We've seen anoche. Desde el primer momento is from the first moment. Durante los siglos, we're just going to skip. I meant to actually get rid of this one. It means over the centuries. It's not common. El otro día, the other day. We haven't seen specifically, but one we can figure out. En ese momento, in that moment. New one, but again, one we can figure out. Entonces is your word for then. Esta mañana, we know as being this morning. El año pasado, we've seen. Hace is your ago in Spanish in this case. So hace 2 días means 2 days ago, 4 years ago, 4 años. And then we've seen ayer here. Now we have por la mañana, just different times of the day, morning and then afternoon. Esta tarde, this afternoon, we've seen that before. La semana pasada, we know that pasada or pasado mean last. So in this case, last week, in this case, last month. So a couple new ones to take down. Definitely good ones to know. They're just going to help you be able to use the preterite and the imperfect in the right places. All right, so that's preterite. When do we use the imperfect tense? We have a description of it on our folders, and our folders talk about description. Oops, apologize about that. We talk about description, and we also talked about was, were, happening. These are pretty similar to what we have. Just going through them quickly. To state in general when an action took place. This is kind of a general one. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of this, but it's a general thing. We don't know the exact information. Background information, that's like a description. Weather, time, age, all of these really fit under the category of description in the past, which is a little bit more general. To describe physical and mental states and conditions, including feelings. Again, these are descriptions in the past. Habitual actions, these are repeated actions. They did not begin and end in the past. It's the opposite of the preterite where it began and ended in the past. To express what used to happen, that used to is very common. And then finally to express what was or were happening. This is sort of this green ongoing action type thing. Where's my color green? I'm trying to write and it won't write. So my green ongoing action, there it is. So these really contrast with the preterite, where the preterite is talking about actions that began and ended in the past. Okay, so that's our description of the imperfect. If you want to take these down, if some of these help you, go for it. But again, you have your folders to help you. Some common expressions. We have a lot of these. Let's use green for this. A menudo, we have the word often. A veces, sometimes we have. Cada día, every day, or each day. Cada semana, every week, every month, every year. Nunca means never. We haven't seen that one yet. This is a good one to know. Take this one down for sure. I'm not going to worry about en aquella época. It means in that time period. It's not common. Frecuentemente, generalmente. These are both cognates. Great words to know. Muchas veces, mucho. De vez en cuando, and con frecuencia. All these indicators we have seen before. So if you have any questions as to what any of these mean, you're not sure of any of them, mark it down in your screencast notebooks, and next time we'll go through them together. Okay? So indicator words do what I just said. They indicate that you're going to use the imperfect tense. So you see generalmente, it's going to be imperfect in the past. Do these work 100% of the time? No. But for our purposes for right now, they kind of get you thinking in the right way. Okay, there are some verbs that change their meaning depending on whether they're in the preterite or the imperfect tense. En nuestras carpetas, in our folders, we have that little circle that we haven't really played with yet. I don't know why this keeps skipping. Let's go back. And there are some verbs that are going to change their meaning depending of whether it's the preterite or the imperfect. We're actually going to save the rest of this description until next class, so just be thinking about that, or next screencast, I should say. And then we're going to put our circles in for next time. So if you need to watch this again, feel free to go back. Definitely get those indicator expressions down, the ones that are new especially. And hopefully just a little more information on the preterite and the imperfect so that you can be better prepared to distinguish the difference between the two. Conjugations, right? My assumption is that you know how these things are formed, so I didn't go over any formation today. That stuff's all in your handy little folder. Ok, muchas gracias por su atención. Nos vemos en la próxima clase. Chao.